I've seen a lot of domestic violence with my stepfather. My mom would say to me, India, don't get in. As much as you tell me don't get in, I'm jumping in. And he will literally beat me. He will literally beat me. He'll beat me with his combat boots. He'll beat me with fists and punches. And I was okay, just don't hit my mom. There was one particular night, oh my God, he came in so drunk. My mother ran out. He tried to run behind her. I ran into my closet and I hid. I took all the clothes and I put it together. That morning, my sister went to turn on the light, and when she went to switch on the light, the whole string came down. It must have been a sign, because at night, when he beat my mom, he was trying to look to turn on the light and he couldn't. So he opened my closet door and he had a carpet cutter, and it looks like a hook. And he's, cursing, looking for me. He's like, oh, you think you're a man? You want to get in the fights between me and your mother? I'm going to show you. So there was a whole sink that he had in my closet because he was going to install it in the kitchen. So I hid behind that. I hid so much into the corner behind the sink. And when he swung the hook, it caught the back of the sink of itself. So he stopped right there and he just kept looking around for me. So I was stuck there in the closet for like 2 hours. So I'm like, okay, I don't hear him. So I snuck out the closet and I jumped on the bed and I tried to open the window. I'm on the 6th floor. I looked down. I looked this way to the fire escape and I reached. And as I'm reaching with my left leg, I'm also pulling in to grip the fire escape so I can pull myself. And I was able to escape. I lived in the hard knocks of the South Bronx. At the time, it was one of the most corrupted precincts back in the early 70s. I knew I liked girls at the age of 10. My first experience with 2 sisters. Just a simple kiss. And of course at that time, especially at that age, no way we can talk about it. When I turned about 17, I started dating a young girl. And I kept it real low-key, didn't say anything, didn't mention anything. I didn't label myself at all. Especially with my stepfather growing up, There's a Spanish saying that goes, I'd rather you be a hoe before a lesbian. So that really hit to the core where I better not say anything at all. I met my kid's father at the age of 20. Before I met him, I was very innocent-minded. I knew about the streets. I wasn't part of the streets. He indulged in drugs. Throughout the years, he kept getting incarcerated. And he'll come out from being in prison. I'll get pregnant. I started selling drugs, started selling heroin, started selling crack. And then I got into smoking crack and sniffing cocaine. But part of me felt guilty. Another part was, and then I numbed my pain because I felt so guilty. And the only way I knew how to numb my pain was just go get high, go make money. I'm also got into the game of the drugs because I seen the upbringing and the sacrifices. Oof. Sacrifices my mother went through. Her living off her welfare check. Taking care of me, my sisters, my brothers, and my kids. How she managed that is beyond me even to this day. But she managed, and she spoke no English. And I sold drugs because I said, this is the way I'm gonna help my mom. And that's what I did. I sold drugs and sold drugs. And I did other things. One thing I never did was sell my body. This one particular time I come home with $100,000 in a duffel bag. It's been 8-9 days, she didn't see me, no one heard from me or anything. I was nowhere in the Bronx. My mom screamed at me, she yelled at me, she even smacked the fire out of me. And when I showed her the duffel bag and I just flung it open and I threw the money in the middle of the living room, she opened her eyes. And the first thing she did was look at me and said, is that drug money or blood money? So I answered her. And she knew that I was way into too many things that I shouldn't be. Did she have a luxury life? No, she didn't. Did I give her a luxury life? No, I did not. I gave her headaches on top of headaches and worriness on top of worriness. One thing for sure and two things for certain though. She knew that I was a go-getter. There was nothing or no one that's gonna stop me from doing what I felt I needed to do at the time, not what I wanted to do. She just couldn't fathom the thought of losing me, and she says, I'd rather go visit you and take you cigarettes before I have to go and take you flowers. I got stab wounds in my whole body from things from street life. They say, you know, in the drug game or whatever game you're in, you hit rock bottom. I never hit rock bottom. In and out of incarceration, always had my mother there, always. She'd come visit me, send me my packages, make sure I was good. I still had the drug game flowing in the streets, so my guys would still be able to take care of my mother. I couldn't sleep. My friend was doing tattoos. I looked at my friend, I said, yo, Chachi, do me a tattoo. She said, you want a tattoo? I said, yeah. She said, what do you want? So in Spanish it says, perdóname, madre mía. Mother of mine, forgive me for my sins. So she did. Then I did a tattoo on my cab and it said, Mom. 6 o'clock in the morning comes, it's count time. So now all the inmates has to get up while the guards are making their rounds, counting the inmates. I get on the phone with my mother. I said, Mommy, I love you. She said, what are you calling me at this time so early in the morning? I said, Mommy, I couldn't sleep. And I'm talking to her in Spanish. She's telling me, you know, India, your kids need you. I need you. I can't continue doing this. So I says, Mommy, don't worry. I promise you this time around. She says to me, your promises, you always break promises. Give me your word as a woman, as my daughter, as the young lady I raised to the best of my ability, as the mother that you are, and you have 5 kids. Give me your word that you're coming back, you're gonna hang up the gloves, you're not gonna sell drugs, you're not gonna indulge in drugs. I need for you to tell me these things. And I'm crying, snots and boogers, and Mom, you have my word. You have my word, Mom, I'm not gonna go back to it. Officer B comes. In jail, they call me Dino. It's like, Dino, you still on the jack? It's like, Captain B here in 5 minutes, Dino. If you're not off, I'm gonna have to write you up. I'm like, all right, Officer B, I got you. I tell my mama, I gotta hang up. But I'll call you after count is clear and after I come out from programs. I go to my bunk, I get dressed real quick, I go to the TV room. I hear the phone ring behind me, and I hear the officer say, yes, Reverend Adams. I think nothing of it, whatever. It's just me listening to a conversation. I'm talking, whatever. Once I finish talking, she hangs up the phone. She gives me a pass. She goes, I need you to go to the trailers. And when I get there, I see Reverend Adams. So he says, do you have a sister named Oleska? So I says, yes, I do. Like, what's going on? What's wrong with my sister? He says, well, why don't you call home? So I call home, and when I call home, my sister picks up the phone, and all I hear is screams and crying and yelling. No, and I'm like, Wally? She goes, hey sis, and she's crying. I said, what's going on? What's the matter? And she's like, oh my God, sis, oh my God, sis, oh my God, sis. I'm like, talk to me, what's going on? What's up? Everything's okay? Are my kids okay? It's like, yeah, sis, everything. No, not everything is not okay, sis. I said, what's going on? It's like, Mommy. I said, what's wrong with Mommy? She said, Mommy just passed away. I said, what? I said, you fucking kidding me? I just got off the phone with her like maybe an hour and a half ago. You're lying to me. My whole world. That's when I hit rock bottom. At that particular moment, I wish I could numb my pain and go get high. Because that was one pain that I did not want to deal with. And I knew that I was up for furlough in a couple of days. And I knew that if I went on my furlough, I wasn't coming back. They would have to come get me. And I knew that I gave my mother my word, and I denied the furlough. Came out 8 months after, and I made sure I got into an outpatient program. I was on work release. I had to report to my work release. I had to report to my parole officer. I worked for the welfare department, and I definitely stood away from people, places, and things. I had to make amends with each and every one of my family. However, most importantly, I had to make amends with myself. I had to learn how to forgive myself so I can be able to move forward in life. Finding me again, a new me, has humbled me. I set my kids down. I said, listen, so me and Daddy Anthony are no longer together. We're getting separated, we're getting a divorce. And I want you guys to know that there'll be no more men in my life. So my youngest daughter and my other daughter, they were like, huh? And my other son. My oldest daughter and my son who's gay, they already kind of knew, but I always try to keep my kids in a kid's place. Things that they didn't need to know at an early age, they didn't have to know. When I opened up to them, I says, do you remember such and such? You remember this girl? And my daughter would be like, yeah, I remember. Well, she was my girlfriend. Really, Mom? Mm-hmm. My son was like, that was my girlfriend. And nobody knew. Nobody but Ita, my mother. Ita knew? That's what they call my mother, Ita. They didn't know how to say, grandma in Spanish is abuelita, so they didn't know how to say it in Spanish, so they just used to call her Ita. Wait, you mean to tell me Ita knew about you? She's the only one that knows things that she died with. And that's the only person in my world that I trust. If you're not comfortable with that and see me with another female, I get it. Until you're not comfortable, I will not present that to you. And that's how it was. I meet this girl. We kick it off. I find her attractive. I meet her in the park. I'm like, oh, she's pretty, da-da-da-da. I become her first woman in her life. She met my kids and everything. Actually, she's actually the first girl that I brought home after my divorce with my ex-husband. She calls me. She's like, I said, what's up, girl? What's up? I said, girl, that's how much you love me? She's like, are you home? Can I stop by real quick? I said, sure. She said, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. When she gets to my house, I come outside and I'm like, what's up, Cindy? How you doing, baby? She's like, nothing. I give her a hug. I'm like, damn, girl, you looking good. Da-da-da-da. She says, yeah. Somebody wants to say hi to you. I said, who? So when I turn around, I look at this familiar face, right? And I go, don't I know you from somewhere? She goes, it's me, Titi. I said, holy shit, girl, girl, I haven't seen you. I said, I looked at Cindy, I said, wait, how you know her? She goes, that's my mother. said, what? Yeah, that's my mom. It hit me like about a week ago because I showed her a picture of you and she was like, wait, doesn't she have a brother named Hick Edwin and a sister named Wally? And I tell her, yeah. She goes, yeah, I grew up with her. So then it hit me. Oh, so this is the two sisters that you had the experience? I said, no way. But yep, it happens to be her mother, one of the sisters. I'm like, this is such a small world. Such a small world. This is umpteen years later. This happened to me when I was 10 years of age. One of my granddaughters, for my birthday, she drew a nice rainbow for me. She's like, hey, Nanny, this is for you. I said, oh, you did the rainbow for me? She goes, mm-hmm. I said, what do you know about the rainbow? She's like, I said, you can tell me, what do you know? She goes, those are happy people. I said, we people, just like everybody else. She's like, I said, it should be no difference, right? She said, She says, I want to give back. I said, what do you want to give back? She goes, I want to help people like you do, Nanny. Because a lot of people don't like people that likes rainbows. She goes, and I just don't understand that. I said, you'll understand later on. When you understand it, you're going to be like, that still makes no sense. I'm thankful especially for my kids who never turned their backs on me, never threw it in my face or left us. My grandmother had to take it, and I'm just thankful for that. And this is where all my past history has led me to. Acceptance, humbleness, gratefulness, thankfulness, and most importantly, I'm blessed. So if I'm going to leave anything here, I leave this, that no matter what we go through in life and what we do or say in life, if a person really wants to change, it can be done.